Nice. We are live, it says.
We are live. All right.
Yep, there we are.
Here I am. We're going to hit that like button real quick.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, like it up, like it up. Hey, guys.
What's going on, fellas? How we all doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Let's go to the live chat here. Boom, there we go. Timothy Strickland in the house. Beard Swag. Chris Burnett, what's going on, brother? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad to see you in here.
I'm just trying to.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Steve Brown's in the
What's
house.
going on,
Oh,
Steve?
shoot.
Aaron, nice, Sneaky. Good to see you.
Sneaky, what's up?
Hey,
Boston Mike. Aaron Rodgers up in the
Aaron
house.
Rodgers. All right.
All right, we're starting to get some population in here. That's good.
Heck yeah.
Gotta comb this through, man.
I know. I just got home from work and just jumped out of the shower and did a quick unpacking video for something else. And
There you go. There. You know, dude, right now it's like 106 over here.
Oh, I know. I was in Vegas earlier.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, the heat is real right now.
But it's a dry heat, ain't it?
Dude, right now it's like
Dry heat.
Yeah, and and I had to work a little bit later into the morning than I really like to, so it was getting pretty warm at my last store. I was like, oh man, it was about 10 o'clock and it was probably about 95, 98 degrees. I'm like, gotta get this over with.
The hottest I've ever been was we were in New Orleans the month before Katrina hit. We were in July. That was the hottest week I've ever spent anywhere was New Orleans in July. That was ridiculous.
I heard it's hot down there in Louisiana. Well, up there.
Yeah. All right, guys.
So we got, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, got enough. We got a few people up in here.
Yep.
Got the owner of Barbu Beard Company in the house, Abraham. He's joining us tonight. We're going to do a live review of some of his products, and he's got a special announcement to make later on in the live stream. So without much further ado, Abraham, say hi.
How you guys doing? All right. Thanks for having me at the oh, look who popped in. Is that Jester?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh,
There he is. Yeah, I told you he's like a jack in the box.
Better ugly than never.
Let me put my light on. See my pretty face.
Oh
What's going
God.
on this piece, gentlemen? Barbu, is that you?
What up, kid?
What's going on, man?
All right.
Jester,
So, yeah.
Abraham was just introducing himself and his co.
So yeah, my name is Abraham. I run Barbu Beard Company. I started Barbu back in 2017 with the intent of providing, or creating a product that was just honest and using the best ingredients I can find, and just selling them for a good price, organic and all natural. I focus more on quality versus quantity. And it's been growing ever since, for the last 2 years. I've never found myself plateaued, and that's what I like to. That's my goal, is to never plateau. So.
Oh, what the?
I got one I had for you, man. For the Jester. That's the first product I got from you.
I was getting all serious and shit,
Gotta leave it to the Jester. Comic relief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Abraham, you only got to deal with him this week. We got to deal with him every week.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, you guys are great, and so again, it's awesome to be here. It's the first time I do some crazy shit like this with all these different faces flipping around.
Yeah.
But usually behind the camera, not in front of it. But I'm having fun right now. I got my drink and
There you go.
got a good group.
What are you drinking? Tell the people what you're drinking.
Man, I ran out of beer earlier, so I found a bottle of vodka in the freezer, and
Yeah, buddy.
There you go. That's a good upgrade.
I like how he found it. Like he didn't know.
it.
just found it.
Oh, wait, there's the vodka.
It was hiding underneath the frozen broccoli, So
Now, for those, I always like to mention this because it seems like, aside from veterans in this community, between owners and reviewers and et cetera, we got a lot of teachers in this community. And Abraham and I share that occupation. Abraham, what type of teacher are you again?
One that gets fed up when the kids are a pain in the ass. You know?
Great answer. Great answer.
No, I taught high school for about 15 years, and then I shifted over to middle school just because of the logistics and location. But I teach photography and visual arts.
Nice.
That's my background. I got a master's in fine arts as well. So,
man, I need to talk to you about
That's why you take those nice pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Right?
I try.
Some of the best ad game out there is Barbu, man.
Yeah. My brother's a teacher too. He's a music teacher and high school music teacher.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My mother's a teacher. There's a lot of teachers here.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Who would have guessed that their teacher would have gave birth to the class clown?
Tell you that, man. It takes a special person to be a teacher.
Took a special
Like I
woman
said,
to be
I
your
got
mom.
suspended in kindergarten. No lie. Suspended in kindergarten.
That doesn't surprise me.
Special grade to be a teacher. I swear to God. Kindergarten.
How'd you manage that?
I was just a hyper kid, believe it or not.
Look at him now.
They were feeding me all types of fucking pills. They couldn't take me down. They had to give me a tranquilizer. They were like, shoot me all over the place in the car. They shoot me all over the place. Couldn't take me down. Horse tranquilizer, a fucking elephant gun. Right over.
So before we begin the review, Jester,
Forget the review, Joe. This is hilarious. Let's just keep going with the laughing.
Okay, well, I'm hoping because that's where I'm going. Jester just returned from Mexico for his delayed honeymoon because he got married.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, Jester, you want to give us a quick Mexico report?
Did you drink
Mexican
water?
food is pretty good. I wore a sombrero the whole time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful, beautiful country. I love the people. The food was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going back there. I'm definitely one of those spots. Like that's definitely gonna be one of my go-to spots. Beautiful country.
Nice. What about the wife?
Actually, I didn't eat that much Mexican food, but yeah.
What did you eat?
The resort I stayed at had like different restaurants. I had like Brazilian steakhouses, hibachis.
Believe it or not, the best Chinese food I ever had was in Baja California in Rosarito Beach.
Rosarito.
Yeah, the best Chinese food I ever had was just some little hole-in-the-wall plate Chinese food place. I mean, there wasn't a lot of cats in the area, but man, it was some really good food.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Ensenada. I love that.
The flavor comes from those 15-year-old pots they never clean. That's where the flavor comes from.
Yep.
Rob's in here. Rob Ape is in the house. He just popped in.
What's up, Rob?
Bearded America.
What's up, Rob? How you doing tonight? Bearded America. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Rob.
All right, Jester. Remind us? Dan and Angel and I were talking. What scent did you have?
I had the Jester, and I had, which is awesome, amazing, and I also had the Red Lion as well. I experienced his bombs, oils, and his butters.
All right.
Yeah, the Red Lion.
What is it called? The gardener, the grower.
Yeah.
Too.
The grower.
Yeah, I experienced that. It's I don't know, the way he mixes his stuff makes it smell great. I'm not a big a fan of like lemongrass scent, but when I smell the Red Lion and the grower, I believe it's called, I liked it, and I liked it a lot. You know, it's just the way he mixes it, or what different scents he puts in there. It just works, you know. And I actually love the smell.
Everything he makes, it reminds me, it takes me back to a good memory of being a kid. With the grower, it was at my grandparents' house, you know, playing around in the backyard in Santa Monica with the lemon bushes. With the Red Lion, it reminds me of being a kid, eating that Fruit Loops in the morning, watching Saturday morning cartoons. It like, or like, to me, it was hard to describe, but it tastes like the smell, or it smells like the taste of Starburst, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it just smells.
I like the way he implements like black pepper, you know.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't know what the hell to do with black pepper, but just putting on a burger, a meat or something.
Right.
He does it in a way where it just fits, and it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Steve,
Top notch stuff, man. Top notch.
Steve Brown said he's not a fan of lemongrass either, but Red Lion and Grower are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Steve.
And I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if you guys have experienced it with the Red Lion and the Grower oil. For some reason, it almost gives me this cool feeling underneath my skin. I don't know if you guys experienced it.
I think there must be a little bit of peppermint or something in there that just kind of gives it that little bit of
or bear mace, maybe. Who knows?
Bear mace, something. It just gives you a nice fresh coolness to it when you put it in.
Oh yeah, it wakes me up. It literally, I think it's great to wear in the morning when you're about to go to work. It just wakes you up.
My wife loves the smell of the Red Lion too. I wear it to bed, and it's really brought the lion out in me a couple of times. It's roar,
Oh,
hi, honey.
Unleash the beast.
That's our quote of the night already.
Release the beast.
Rob Atkins in the house. He aced up the sleeve. Good to see you, Rob.
What's up, Rob? How you doing tonight?
He's the unofficial fifth base.
Yeah, he likes to hang out in the comment section and support us that way.
Yep.
We actually bounce a lot of ideas off of him too. He's almost like the group dad. He tells us no.
Group dad.
Rob, you're the group dad.
Love you, Rob.
Yeah, it's all love, man. It's all love.
This non-alcoholic drink right here is really kicking in.
Am I the only one? Is the only one with Carpenter?
Uh-oh, everybody froze up on me. Oh, there you are.
Say again, Joe.
Am I the only one that has Carpenter? Because if so, I'd like to address it.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So I don't have Carpenter.
Carpenter is cedar, patchouli, and cypress. And I'm good with cedar and patchouli. I know what a cypress tree looks like, but I've never smelled one before. So when I get in here, this thing has this combo of like earthy and woodsy and fresh. And the fresh, and I'm assuming, or maybe these are some of the other special ingredients in there, Abraham. I'm assuming that cypress is what kicks that fresh in there? Or is there other hidden stuff?
Well, there's more stuff, but the main three are those. Yeah, the cypress does have a bit of it's a fresher woodsy profile than a more musky like cedar would give,
Yeah. So I really enjoy. Usually, 9 times out of 10, my experience has been when you see a cedar scent, you know what that scent's going to be because the cedar really dominates.
Yeah.
But what I love about this is that you get the woodsiness of the cedar, you get the earthiness of the patchouli, that earthy kind of musky, and you get that fresh note of the cypress. And it's just all wonderfully wrapped together. I would have called it, pine or spruce or something if I had to guess, if I didn't have the benefit of the website.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is kind of like a three-headed monster here in that it's not cypress dominant, it's not patchouli dominant, it's not cedar dominant, but it's a wonderful blend of all three. And let's just mention while we're out here, I love Barbu's font and I love that beard logo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also love the slogan. Give us the slogan, Abraham.
Oh, ruggedly sophisticated.
Oh, I love that.
That's great, isn't it?
That's good, man. Where did you come up with the name Barbu?
Well, Barbu, a couple of people have been asking me that recently, and my background's Cuban. My parents are Cuban, so I speak fluent Spanish, and I remember growing up when I wouldn't shave, when the hair started coming out when I was like, preteen or whatever, and my dad would say, "Oye, estás barbudo," like, hey, you're getting bushy, you got to go shave and so on and so forth. So I when I started the company, I was thinking of a name and you do research and you start looking at other companies and see what they have and just to kind of like make sure you don't get something that's already taken. And I just decided to kind of shorten up the word barbudo to just barbu, you know. And then so, you know, later on I started finding out that in French it means beardsman, you know. So it's, you know, Spanish is a Romance language, just like French, so it kind of all kind of works in together. And I thought it was unique and different and just simple but catchy, you know. So
I like it. I like it.
designed the logo and the font to go with it, and it just, I think the font. Yeah, I do graphic design as well, so like the font has to work with the sound of the word that you're working.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love, as I'm looking at it behind you, Abraham, I love the wisps that are coming off the letters in Barbu.
Mm-hmm.
The Barbu looks, the letters look attractive, but those little wisps, those little flowers are really, really attractive. I dig that kind of stuff.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, the
A
whole
little
logo
goes
just,
a long way, and you definitely took it there, man. Definitely took it there.
the whole logo just looks really nice.
Thanks, Dan. Now, you go through prototypes, you know, you sketch out, and then you have a couple different options, and you combine different ideas together, and eventually you refine it down, kind of like a piece of marble that you keep chipping at, you know, and eventually you get a Michelangelo, you know, and I mean, that's nowhere near Michelangelo, you know what I'm saying? But that's the idea.
All right, so let's tackle another scent. I know a bunch of us had what is it? The
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
Let's
I'll
hold
let you guys go ahead because I actually have a review for the Blacksmith that's going to drop after the live, so you guys can go ahead and give your takes on it. And I'll drop a little bit of what I think, but I kind of want everybody to tune into the review afterwards too.
Yeah.
Angel, we haven't heard you. You jump in on Blacksmith, brother.
All right, so I got this one, I think on Friday. So right away, I started using it Saturday actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first thing, like you guys been talking about the label. This label is literally badass. I mean, I really enjoy it. Right when I saw it, I was like, man. And let me tell you what, though, before I get right into it, like the package and everything, like that's the first time I've actually ever seen like a brochure given on a product, which I thought was unique. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that. So I actually did a small unboxing video that comes out tomorrow with that as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
But as far as the actual scent, right off the bat, I was like, holy shit, I need to put more of this on. So I put it on, went about my day, and halfway throughout the day, I was like, I need to put some more on again. Just because, I don't know, it has like a spice, but the good thing is I just recently used Crusher, so I got into like that spice aroma. So this came in perfectly because I understood spice, but it has like a black, like a licorice to it as well.
Yeah, that's that anise star.
Yeah, and it just balances so well though. Like it's strong. It comes in strong, but then after like maybe 2 hours or so, it kind of soothes out a little bit, but it stays there. And that's what I like about it. It's constantly there. Like I said, it comes in strong, but it mellows out really, really well. And I don't know, it feels like throughout the day kind of morphs a little bit, but not a whole lot. But I feel like, you know, as the day goes on, I kind of feel like it smells even better.
Yeah.
That and then gonna say, and the bomb though, the bomb actually, I was expecting like when I first saw it, I was expecting like a soft feel to it, but this is actually more like of a medium. And
as long as they're pretty sturdy.
Put it on, right away I can tell because I'm like, shit, the beer's already going in that spot. So right away I had to like comb it properly. But it's good. It's good.
Now this is the one for me that reminds me of childhood, Abraham, because firstly, I think it's kind of cool that you called it Blacksmith and you have the black coloring, and the art on your website, you know, has the animal and the tools of the blacksmith and those kind of things. Because when I smell anise, of course, I think black licorice. I mean, there's like, unless you're a drinker, there's no other smell that goes with anise is that black licorice. So it brought me back to being a kid where, you know, you had Good and Plenty, or you know, in California we had red vines, but there were black ones as well. I don't think they were called black vines, but you know, just that whole kid feeling. And the thing about anise to me is it can be overdone quickly because it's powerful. And you hit it spot on, dude. You hit it where it jumps out of the bottle and in the beard, but it's not cloying and powerful. I mean, it is perfect. And I love this scent. I adore this scent.
Yeah, I think what's important is at least for myself when I'm crafting my profiles is that I like for you to get a hit, you know, a nice
Yeah.
hit, and then have it kind of mature on your beard, you know. Uh, I don't like it when I put something on that is exactly the same when I put it on as the end of the day. You know, I like for the different oils to kind of have their chance to shine, you know, and
Right.
that's basically boils down to your high, your mid, and your low notes, you know, your bass notes, you know, just like your music, you know. Um, as long as everything has an opportunity to kind of showcase itself, then I find that successful, at least in my oils, you know.
Mhm.
So
Rob
No,
Acker,
Which oil?
you nailed it. You
Sorry
nailed
to cut you off. Go ahead.
Rob Acker was asking what the profile is. He asked if it was black licorice. It's actually anise star, which is that anise scent that gives you the black licorice scent, spruce and orange. But that anise isn't like overpowering.
No,
It,
No.
the spruce and the orange really tone it down. It's just a nice, smooth, sweet
and
smelling.
the spruce gives it a freshness.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about the orange, to my nose, was you get that kind of okay, so you get the freshness of the spruce in that kind of evergreen way, and that's not overpowering. And you get that bitey freshness of the citrus. But to me, I didn't detect the orange, but I detected the presence of something citrusy, if you know what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of it helps pull that anise back a little bit. And it really is an amazing composition, Abraham.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, and there's probably like another 6 or 7 essential oils in that blend, which all play a part. You know, they all play a part in the primary notes that are labeled out there. You know, so.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. Which scent was the hardest to perfect out of all the scents? Was it the Jester? Was it the Red Line? Which one was the hardest one to be like, all right, this one was really hard. It took time.
Actually, that's one I'm currently working on right now.
Really?
And only one person,
Surprise!
one person on this live chat stream knows, and that one is a tricky one. But you know, they just like any other kind of project. You know, they take time. You got to refine them. There's you want to see how long they last. You tweak them here and there, and nothing. Rarely.
How about the ones that are out now? The ones that are out already to the public.
I'm gonna try to be humble about this response here. I'd say, you know, the Carpenter that Joe talked about earlier, that was my first scent, you know, and I think it's like once you start getting used to working with these materials, then you start understanding their behaviors, you know, and the goal for me is to kind of make it second nature, you know, like it's an intuitive process in making these things happen. But not to divert your question here, but the blacksmith was interesting because the anise, you know, the anise is a tricky essential to work with, just because it can be very overpowering. And then like what are you going to add to kind of tame that wildness that it has, you know, because it can be intense, you know, wear anise all day long, you're going to go crazy, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Now you deal with mostly essential oils, right? Do you deal with any fragrance oils?
I lately I have, and that was an interesting bridge to cross because I was very adamant about maintaining just essential oils, you know, in my oils. So like the primaries have essential oils only. So meaning the pyrite, which is now just by request, the grower, the Carpenter. The Night Watch butter is actually all essential oils, and then some the newer scents like the Storyteller and the Jester and some of the goodies I'm going to be popping out with. Even the Red Lion has just maybe, I don't know, 10% fragrance oil, so it's minimal. I try to find the highest quality. You know, you got stuff that's used for Bath and Body Works, and then you got other stuff that's actually used for perfumes. You know, so I try to find the ones that are just a little bit higher in quality to be able to diversify the profiles a little bit, because at some point the essential oils take you so far, you know.
Yeah.
And just being able to tweak them just a little bit is good enough to get you over the top, you know.
So Chris Burnett here says we need to talk you into making a blacksmith butter.
Yeah,
I agree. This would be a fantastic butter right here.
This would be a good butter.
Yeah, he's been asking about that for a while, you know. I don't know. maybe Christmas will come early for him. Who knows?
He says Night Watch goes good with the blacksmith if you haven't tried it. I haven't tried the Night Watch. I'm gonna have to give that one a try too. Like I said, you're gonna have to start, just for me personally, you're gonna have to make like 8-ounce tubs of the Red Lion. I love this stuff.
Big buckets.
Man.
And
Like, I open the tin and I want to like eat it. Like it smells so damn good. Man.
That's awesome.
What's great about that one
Lick it.
is the story behind it, you know. Don't eat it, Dan. The story behind it is you know, I have a daughter, and she helped me. She's involved, and she wanted to help make a profile, and so we went at it, and she picked out the things that she liked, and I put it together, and lo and behold, you know, something came out, and I had it as an oil for her to use on her elbows and stuff like that. And about 2 or 3 months later, I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, this could work. You know, it's a little on the fruity side. I don't know if guys are gonna want to wear it or whatnot, but then I started wearing it on my beard, you know, and I was like, fuck, this is awesome, man, you know. So
Yeah.
I ran with it, and let me make it into a butter, you know, because I like the butters to be unique in profiles, you know. The matchy stuff is great sometimes, but I think it's nice to have a butter that's completely unique.
Oh yeah.
Now you have a product named the Jester, which I think is a gorgeous name. And
But I named it after.
and you know, I assume you named it after me, but you know, and in reality, why'd you name it the Jester?
Halloween came around, and I'm not a fan of pumpkin, you know, and I didn't want to do a pumpkin scent. And I mean, for those who do it, great. I hope it works out, and if people like it, fantastic. You know,
I like pumpkin beer.
Right. So.
Come out with a pumpkin beer scent.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to take a little bit of a alternate route, you know, and go for like the candy type. Thinking of trick or treating and stuff like that, and that's how it came out. You know, I released it last fall, and that was one of the first ones that I did include a little bit of fragrance. You know, there's some apple in it, and there's no such thing as an apple essential oil. You know, so it was just enough to kind of like work with the black pepper and the orange and the other. You know,
it smells great. It's definitely seasonal, but it smells so damn good, man.
Yeah, you can wear it anytime. You know, it's not specific. You know, so
that's my next one. That's the next one I'm getting is the Jester.
Thank you.
I can't get rid of you. What are you talking about? Like a wart, brother. But a very colorful wart at that. So one more quick question before we dive into another scent, if there's others out there that one of the guys want to talk about, Abraham. As a producer of product, because I want the whole audience to know that, like, I just have tried 2 of the scents, but you know, you can see the complexity in both, and I'm pretty sure that's going to range throughout the line. I know Jester did a review on the Jester scent, and I watched Dan's review of Red Lion. So I'm safely going to say that all of Barbu stuff is going to have that lovely complexity to it. So when you go to make new scents, Abraham, are you looking at, let's see if I can twist some ingredients that we're used to seeing in a different fashion, or are you looking to come up with something completely unique and different that maybe has not been seen?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joe.
Yeah.
I recently posted a shot of just an empty amber bottle. You know, I don't know if some of you guys might have seen it or not. And that's the way I approach it. You know, it's kind of like an empty canvas, a blank canvas. And I don't like going back to things. You know, I get bored of it, or I'll can it, or unless it's something I really want to try to figure out, then I'll keep you know, tipping at it. But for the most part, every scent that I come up with is completely unique, and it's from its inception to its final product.
Yep. And again, the Carpenter has scents that you have seen before, but not like they are in that one. I mean, what with Jester scent, what is that? Orange, pepper, and apple. I mean, we've seen those, but from the way it sounds, not like that, and the way you've combined them. So that's really, really cool because I dig, and I think the longer I've been doing this, just communicating with people on Instagram, doing the roundtable, that uniqueness and longevity seem to be two huge things guys want.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I found.
Go ahead.
I found that as the longer I've had my beard and the more products I use, like when I was brand new, basic scents were cool, but just orange or just peppermint or just citrus, they get kind of boring. So it's like nice when company sends it. I get something, boom, you get the Red Lion, or you get the Blacksmith, or you get something from Lux or something like that, or Ape, and it's just like, oh man, this is different. Like this is like complex. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the basic sense, but the more I use and the longer my beard grows and stuff, it just I want something. Yeah, I always crave something new and different.
I think what you're probably alluding to is the artistry behind it.
Exactly. Yeah.
There is an artistry component to it. Anybody can just get some carrier oil and sprinkle some lemon,
Right.
or whatever the fuck they want to add to it, and call it a day, and it'll work. It might work. Who knows? But if you're seeking something, think about it like a fine liqueur or some kind of well-crafted IPA or something. That it just kind of stands on its own. And I think that's the difference.
Yeah,
I agree totally.
Would you ever work with oud oil at all?
With what?
Would you ever work with oud?
With oud, I think first of all, oud is excessively expensive. The actual essential oil,
right?
The fragrance. I'm not an enormous fan of cologne type for that. I'm very opinionated and I have my positions on things. So this is just the way I speak. I rather just put some cologne on. That's my perspective on it. I think there's some great ones out there, and I know a lot of guys that create some great stuff that are cologne based. But I don't know. Perhaps. That's something I haven't really been. If it piques my interest, then I'll kind of chase it. But as of right now, no, it hasn't.
All right.
Well, one other quick culture for you, question for you, Abraham. Culturally, or ethnically, you're Cuban. You live in Florida. Do you find any of that kind of stuff? Does that you think of maybe, I don't know, native plants or native scents of Cuba or of the region of Florida you're living in? Does that ever try and make its way into your oils, or do you try and actively do those kinds of things with your scents?
Not consciously.
Okay.
I think the orange is probably the closest thing to it, simply because of the orange state. So we produce a lot of oranges out of Miami, up north. But no, I try not to. I mean, at some point or another, your background, your environment, your landscape, your surroundings are going to play a role on whatever it is that you're creating. But consciously, no, I don't try to make like a Cuban scent, or I don't try to make a specific scent that is that kind of confines my profile to a category.
So a Cuban sandwich scent is out of the picture. Messed up, man. It's not right.
Cuban cigar.
Cuban cigar obviously is the one I think of the most.
Yeah.
A lot of
Cuban sandwich. Cuban sandwich.
Yeah.
Sandwich.
So, do we have any other scents that we want to discuss?
Chris in here says, "Is it me or does all Barbu scents scream Florida?" Right?
Yeah, he feels that way. I think, I guess, especially if you're outside of the state of Florida, then you're gonna like an accent. I got a different accent from some of you guys, and that gets picked up pretty quickly. So I think scents or smells are going to do the same thing. You know, it goes back to like creating something in the environment or space that you're in. You know, it's going to have an impact one way or another. You know, so.
Then Nick Burden here says Artius Man's IPA is not very enjoyable. Badass Beard Care is pretty good, but we need a great IPA scent. Abraham. Said, a nice citrus, grapefruit, pine, fresh hop with a little darkness.
I'm just gonna smile at that one. How about that? And I'll leave it there.
Oh, could this be something that might be in the works? I don't know.
Hey, you never know. I got about 5 projects I'm working on right now. So that's it.
What's your favorite beer, Barbu?
My favorite beer.
Favorite beer.
I'm a fan of Lagunitas. Lagunitas IPA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dude, that's my dude. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Yeah.
Hook you up pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
If not,
you know
just
your beers, man.
whiskey, I'm good. You know.
I used
or if I find vodka in the freezer somehow, you know.
Yeah.
It just hidden there for years, you know. Didn't know it was even there.
Have you one of my favorite? I used to make beer when I lived in San Diego.
Awesome.
And my favorite beer and the one that got the most raves when it was tried by other people was it was a chili beer, and it was a honey wheat base, and then you drop a serrano chili in there for about 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And what happens is the serrano is probably about halfway up the heat scale, a little hotter than a jalapeno. So what it does is it imparts some of that. It's just like steeping. What's the term you guys use it when you infuse? So it's like an infusion, a natural infusion from the chili. Not only do you get a little bit of the chase of the chili, but you also get a little bit of that heat. It's really a cool experience. You know, you're drinking something cold, but yet your heat receptors are like, wait a second, this is spicy. And I always enjoy that.
That's killer. You know, I'll share something with you just because I don't plan on using it, just because of the effects that it has. But I started to dabble with chili pepper essential oil, and yeah, really interesting concept, right?
Wow, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Wow.
Yeah, you know, and then when you put it on and it touches your lips, you know, it's fire. So
You go kiss a girl and she fucking gets burnt.
forget about it. Yeah.
I guess you might be the new King Tingle if you come out with something like that.
Not in all the right places either. All right, so back to any other scents before we move along. I know Dan has the Red Line review. Anything else you guys want to discuss that you have?
The blacksmith review dropping after this,
Right.
and I mean, I can talk about it. For me, it reminds me of a cookie when I was a kid. My mom and my aunt used to get these cookies. They were Italian wedding cookies, and they have anise in them, or anise, however you pronounce it. And that's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of those cookies. But also, my grandma used to eat puffernuss or pfeffernuss, and there was anise in that too. And it reminds me of that. Like it doesn't run. I'm not a black licorice fan whatsoever. And so when I got this, I was like, why did I get this? It has the anise in it. We'll see. And I sniffed it, and I was like, this reminds me of being a kid again. So, you know, these all remind me of food. Maybe it's the fat guy in me coming out going, oh, this reminds me of food or whatever. But but this reminds me of like
325. I love scents that unlock a memory. You know?
Yeah, it's always good.
It just
mirror.
like,
Thank you.
It just makes it that much more pleasurable to wear and and smell.
Yeah, there's a sense of nostalgia to it. You know,
Yes.
we were talking before we went live about that, and you know, if you can make something, whether it's a scent or a taste or you know, a piece of art or a photograph or something that triggers a memory in a person that takes them back to a very personal moment in their life, that's the fucking goal, man. You know, that's awesome. That's magical, you know, and it's not about selling 1,000 bottles of beard oil. It's about that experience that person ends up having with your product.
That connection.
Yeah, man.
And we're always fighting for that nostalgia or that memory, So, and of course, the olfactory, the smell, that's the strongest for memory. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's just, I think it's, and I know a lot of owners that I've spoken with, Abraham, share that sentiment of that whether it's just the reaction of the customer and like seeing them get all psyched at the smell of a scent, or if they create a memory or something like that, which I just think is very cool as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's not built into the price of the oil, but sometimes it happens, and that's a great thing. Like you said, it's not about the money.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess this is a good time now. If you guys follow Barbu on Instagram, and if you don't, why don't you? Because he's one of the best things going out there.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was teasing a little bit of a something for us tonight. So, Abraham, I'm going to hand it all over to you for your announcement.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. All right. So I got a little surprise for those who hung on tight there on that chat. Recently I decided to do a charity run with Veterans for Child Trafficking, and we raised close to about $500, and all of that, 100% of the proceeds went to that charity. And I like doing charities. Especially, I've decided that I'm going to focus on charities that have to do with kids. Apart from being a teacher, I'm a parent as well, and I think the kids are defenseless, and they need protection. So I've been working with another community member. Some of you guys might know him, Rodney. Rodney goes by Sabe 8600, and Rodney he does investigative work in Ohio with kids that in child abuse cases. So he's in the gutter there. He's on the front lines dealing with all these types of atrocities and things that are happening to kids. And when I released the Red Lion, he fell in love with it. He loved it. He loved the story behind it, and we started to communicate, and so we kind of paired up. He's acting like my liaison, and I'm going to be releasing a limited edition. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God!
You need a drum roll here.
Getting turned on.
No.
It's going to be called the Blue Lion. Okay.
Blue
Oh,
Lion.
that's awesome.
It's going to be called the Blue Lion, and I'll kind of get into details here a little bit about it. The main, the butter is a red lion, and that the story behind that, again, it's something that my daughter helped me put together and stuff like that. And so we started talking, and I wanted to do another charity. So I'm going to be doing a select run of 40 bottles of the Blue Lion. It has the same profile as the Red Lion, but I'll explain why I call it the Blue Lion next. It's going to be 40 bottles. They're in addition. So you'll see the actual number that you get of that bottle. Okay. So 1 out of 40 or 2 out of 40, depending on the purchase. And 20% of each sale is going to go to this organization. They're called the Council on Child Abuse. Okay. They're based out of Ohio. You can look them up. And what they do, what's special about them is that they work with preventing child abuse, right? So once something happens, there's a lot of work to try to repair and try to fix the situation afterwards. So they focus more on prevention. So we're teaming up with this organization. They're going to mail me information flyers that are going to go out with the purchase. When you get your oil, it's going to come out. It's going to give you some information about the organization. And then after we sell the 40, then that 20% of each one of these bottles is going to go and get donated. I'm going to go ahead and do another live, donation. That way, everything is always transparent for customers and viewers to see where it goes. Now, as far as the bottle, so the reason why it's Blue Lion, that the lion is such a majestic and powerful animal, right? So this powerful animal has the ability to switch colors whenever it wants, right? So it's switching over to the blue lion because the blue lion is going to serve as the protector of children. Okay. Also, the color blue represents, it's like the color for child abuse awareness. Okay. And I found these killer bottles, you know. So these bottles they start off red. You got the red topper. Okay. They're child safety, which is kind of like a cool added bonus to it. And then the color of the glass is red, and then it ends up turning. It's hard to see on camera here with the computer, but it ends up turning blue underneath. So it's a fade from red to blue. So it shows the transformation of the actual color of the line. You know, so there's a lot of like thought behind it and concept behind it.
That's a great concept.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
That is.
So we'll sell it, you know, and then at the end of the run, then you know, I hope to sell them all, just so that I can make that donation, you know, because I can release a red lion oil whenever, and it'll be great, and it'll sell here and there. But this at least gives people, you know, some kind of understanding where my priorities are, you know, and certain things, and that's that. Yeah, so it's going to be I'm going to release it probably in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. You'll check out Instagram. You'll see posts coming up, you know, other creative posts. I like making small trailers and movies, and I really work on my photography a lot to try to, you know, leave a good, you know, create good imagery. And then you'll be able to get it, you know. So
I'll definitely be getting my support. I'll be purchasing that and be sharing the hell out of that when it drops.
Yeah.
I'll be on that, man. 100%, man. It's very heroic of you, man. It's very noble. That's awesome.
Yes,
you know,
I will be there.
It's great to have a company. It's great to have, you know, people you exchange cool words with and you develop friendships with. But if you can find a way to give back, that's to a cause or something that's greater than you or greater than this community or greater than everything else, you know, that can maybe make a little bit of an impact on somebody else, then I think that's the goal. You know, that's where I'm at. So look out for it. It's going to be probably in about a week and a half to 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. That's too long. So about in a week and a half, I'm going to have it ready to go. I got 10 set up already. We got 10. The first set is ready. I do small batches, as you guys probably know, between 10 to 15 bottles, usually a batch. So the first are ready to go. You saw my post. I already printed these suckers out. They're awesome burlap bags. These are all hand printed. And then it's going to have that information inside of it as well that talks about the organization. And then afterwards, hopefully we'll do a live stream with a member of that organization where they'll talk about, you know, the donation and so on and so forth. So there's still things that have to be figured out, but the gist is there and the start is ready to go. So
that's just awesome. This just became my favorite live stream I've ever been a part of or watched or anything. Yeah. That's just like, man, like I don't really have words. Like, man,
it's inspirational. There's comedy involved. There's, you know, it's just real talk.
Man,
I'm glad. It's been an awesome experience for myself. Awesome. This is great. You know, we should do it again one time.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah.
I don't know how I'll top this one though. You know, that's going to be tough. But
and during that, Javi, when he was able to pop in, he was busy there at work. He's here. Javi, say hi to everybody.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Doing good.
How's it going? How's everybody doing?
Javi on the mic.
What's up? You guys hear me? You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you good.
Yeah, perfect. We hear you on the mic.
All right.
You need to get a gold mic, man. Make that thing gold. Dip it in gold, man.
I know, right?
I watched your Barbu Beards interview today. I didn't get a chance to comment yet. I was listening while I was driving, so I couldn't comment on it. But
that's cool.
You know, I'll get a comment on there. You know.
Awesome, brother.
And
that's a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
I do a lot of watching and listening. Well, not watching, but a lot of listening while I'm driving to reviews and stuff like that. I just click a playlist and then put the phone away, you know, in the little cubby hole and just listen to the reviews and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to give a quick shout out because we've got our international flavor in here, Rob Palmer from the land down under.
Oh,
awesome! What's up, Rob? How's it going, brother?
What's up, Rob?
So
what time is it there where you're at, Rob?
what are they, like 12 hours difference or something? Or?
Yeah, something like that,
I
Abraham.
think it's something like that. It's
Oh, that's dedication. That is dedication.
Hardcore.
Rob's a hell of a guy, and he's got one of
Hey.
the greatest ginger beards in the game, baby.
Yeah.
He has got a great beard.
Red velvet, man.
red velvet. Yeah, hey,
He's in
thanks, man. It's
great ginger beard in the game.
Abraham made the stream with that one right there. That's man,
Yeah.
awesome.
So, Abraham, a question whenever we have an owner on, I like to ask is, obviously you make your own stuff. You're happy with your own stuff. You probably wear your own stuff a lot of the time, if not indeed all the time. But are there other companies out there whose stuff you admire or respect?
You know, I think that is true. You know, when you make a product and you know what you put inside of it, and you create it yourself, then you like to wear it. You know, I mean, you got to like it to be able to sell it. You know, otherwise, then you're in the wrong business. You know, but I am very picky. You know, I'm pretty picky with what I like to put on my beard. And it's not an ego thing. It's none of that. It's just like I'm comfortable with what I make. I do have to say that the bomb that I go to every once in a while, and if he's still there, he's still up there, I think, is Rob's on Sherlock. I love that bomb. You know, it's a great bomb. His consistency is great. You know, and the scent is really nice. I enjoy the bomb a lot. You know, and it's a great nighttime conditioner, you know? So yeah, that's something to, you know, that's my response to that. There's other great companies out there, you know, luxurious, you know, he's got good stuff and it's enjoyable to wear. But my go-to, other than my product, you know, would be Rob's bomb, you know, the Sherlock, you know, and so that's it. It's an honest response.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you guys support each other and, you know, be honest about it. You know, that's what the whole community is about. Just kind of, you know, being there for each other and just kind of, you know, supporting each other. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's about.
That's the goal.
And that's what we started the Bearder Roundtable, is to support each other. You know, support, you know, companies out there. Bring them on, interview them, or just chat with them. Not necessarily interview, but chat with them, so people get to know the face behind the oil, because, you know, it's always nice to know, you know, who it is that's making your stuff, you know, the personality behind them and all that kind of, you know.
Yeah, and on that note, Barbu, to me, you're one of the biggest companies with the smallest, like, facial presence, because you even mentioned yourself, you know, you're not an in front of the camera guy. So I really feel I want to thank you again for doing this with us, because I think it's really cool, that the people get to know you, but B, also just that, you know, we get an hour or whatever of your time, and I know you don't usually do that a lot, so thank you.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to announce the Blue Lion on here, that was that was
actually
way awesome.
That actually
made my night. That made my night.
About five hours ago. Yeah, I was like, you know, fuck it. Let's run it. It's a perfect form for it, and I'm sure you guys would appreciate that, and so I wanted to release it, you know, on this page, you know. So yeah, it's
he saw my red. He saw my red lion review. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. It's good to have a little mystery, but show face sometimes it's important, you know, like you said, to see people behind the bottle that you're creating. So
yeah, and just to back up Abraham, we had a group chat, you know, as we were setting all this up, and Abraham didn't mention anything in the group chat of a surprise.
No,
Instagram, and I was like, "Oh shit, we've got a surprise!"
Yeah, it surprised me.
Well, what's the fun if I tell you guys? You know what I'm saying?
Right? He was inspired by that red lion review that I did today. That's why.
I was.
That's really good. That's what set him off.
I was. Have you been to Africa?
No.
No?
Just that was my wife's idea. We went to a well, not we. Yeah, my wife went to a was it a wedding shower or baby shower or something like that at a friend's house, and they had like this African motif thing, and she's like, I want to do that with the house. And so we went to Hobby Lobby and wherever else we went and got all kinds of different stuff like that, and we came home with some of that stuff. So I was like, hey, the red lion is going to look perfect, kind of going around,
No,
you know, hanging out with the giraffe and.
great. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be to visit Africa. You know, I spent
Have you really?
30
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
yeah, I spent 30 days in South Africa, and it was an amazing experience, man. From the food to the people to the landscape to the photography, everything. So, yeah. So I enjoyed Dan's Africa tour today.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I was like, what? I was looking so hard. I went shopping several different stores looking for actual like lion plush toy, and my granddaughter somehow doesn't have any at all. So I was gonna do something with that, like it was gonna, you know, come attack me or something, just something stupid. But I couldn't find anything, so I had to figure something else out.
Yeah, it worked.
Lion. You know, you got a whole zoo of plush toys in your closet right now.
Beanie
Mostly
Babies.
big giant bears. You know, my granddaughter has these big, huge, like life-size bears. And I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work for this. But yeah, actually, for the intro for that, I put together something different than what I originally had with the Leonard Skinner there, and it was actually what I first put together. It was somebody running through the forest and coming into a clearing. Then it was going to come up with the Barbu logo. But when I was looking at it and watching it and doing everything, it looked more like a horror movie than anything. So I had to scrap that and went with something different.
Watch out. Hey, watch out.
Great.
Jester's taking notes over there.
Bring it
Hey,
up the Palm Pilot.
Hey, Jester's got some of the best intros and best like
Yes.
stuff going on there. I mean,
I got some plans for the red. I was gonna say the red dragon, the red lion.
and I always did kind of a little bit of goofy stuff in my reviews, but he's really inspired me to get a little more goofier, like riding last week with the wild side, riding the motorcycle. Well, not my granddaughter's bike.
I have noticed that, Dan, that you've taken some more creative leaps in your videos.
Yeah, that's.
I'm
good.
just like,
That's
I don't, just a little bit. Like I said, I had little goofy like snippets here and there. I was just like, no, Jester's getting away with it. What the hell? I mean, I can get a little goofier. I can get a little more. But it's also the more comfortable I get doing stuff, the more people know me or whatever. The less fucks I give. I guess it's more fun I can have with it.
So, Abraham, we had briefly talked about this. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I'm putting you on the spot here. Whenever I get down to Florida with United Beards of America, are you going to be my rep?
Shit, let me know when you're coming down.
Not for legitimate. This is all virtual, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but you would have to get on camera and answer a couple questions about Barbu and the home state and you and kind of that kind of stuff. So I'm asking you to do that.
Yeah, we messaged about that. Absolutely. Yeah. You want to do it in the summer?
Awesome. Well, I'm thinking maybe towards August.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right before school starts back up, maybe I'll send you.
Absolutely. Let's rock it, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll do too is I'll take some stills of some local venues and stuff like that and I'll send them to you. That way you can use them in your.
That would be awesome.
Oh, nice.
That would be
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take some photos from the photo teacher. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
All right. That's what I need to do. I need to have Abraham create a logo for me.
I've done a few out there.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Brian's very open about it. I mean, I've heard him talk about it before. Abraham, for those of you who are fans of Crusher's Creations, Abraham helped Brian with that logo. I don't know how much and how little, but Brian talks about it. So you can thank not only Abraham for his beautiful Barbu logo, but for that Crusher's look. Every time a reviewer talks about it, talks about how much they like that logo. So Abraham,
I didn't know that, but yeah, that is a sick logo.
Yeah. It came out great. Yeah, Brian's a great guy. He's a good friend. He's actually one of my first supporters when I first started Barbu, even before Crusher's Creations, before Beard Crusher reviews and all that stuff he came out with. He's old school, man. He's old school. So
yeah,
you can help somebody out, you do it. So
yeah, he's got a heart of gold. I love that guy.
Yeah, he does.
And he's got some good products too. He's got some good stuff.
That doesn't hurt.
His butter's a badass, man. That pitch black, that shit scared the shit out of me. It was so good.
I kind of think of like a triumvirate. It's like when I think of one of these guys, I think of all of them kind of, and that's like Ape, Barbu, and Crusher. I don't know if that's a legit triumvirate, but I just kind of think that if there were like alliances, if there's the Axis are over here, those guys would be the allies, and I just kind of put it all together.
Who are the actors?
Right.
DM me later.
Stop it, Joe.
I know. Any questions that the room has? It doesn't look like it. We're good there. All right.
How'd you do with the turnout? I couldn't figure out how to work this shit. So, did you have a good amount of people pop in?
I don't know how.
I don't know how to check all that.
It says 15 watching now, but we can always check afterwards to see how many people actually doing it at the highest point. So we'll check it out right now.
We're breaking records. We're breaking records.
There you go. Hey, there you go, Jester.
It's just
that blue lion. It's that blue lion.
And then people come by afterwards. If they can't watch the live, they come through and watch it.
Yeah, they'll come back
later on.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely we'll tease that on Instagram for people to come and watch the replay.
Yeah,
for sure. Hey, and fellas, I'm gonna just ask a small, tiny favor. When I create the post for the Blue Lion, it's gonna be a pretty intense post actually, visually. I'm gonna tag you guys, and if you guys can pass it on, that
of course.
Oh yeah, man. I'll share.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'll be there to share it, and yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna paint my face blue.
Jeff definitely is gonna do it.
I can see Jester in the Blue Man Group.
Right?
I got plans for this red lion, blue lion, make a rainbow lion. I got plans. No, you know how it works.
Yeah, I already know Jester's gonna one up my. He probably took notes off of mine. He's gonna figure what he was gonna do to one up mine. and I'm looking forward to it because he's got some good shit.
Oh, he's already visualizing that shit. He's already got it.
Ready, guy. I got characters coming, man. I got characters.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I always look forward to Jester stuff. And
what are you gonna
like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
But Jester, my only question is, can any of those characters bring a beard with them? I'm just wondering.
Whoa.
Those are hot words.
We always bust Jester's chops.
I'm telling you, you're supposed to mail me your back hair so I can
That's true. We did make that deal.
Still waiting on that.
Coming back in nice now. I've got to get the shots in now, Jester, because pretty soon I won't be able to. But I got a month left of this, I think. That Mexican water did you well, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Didn't get no Montezuma's revenge, huh?
All right, well, we're at about 10. If there's nothing else, we all got jobs and work and everything. It's been a cool hour. It flew by. Thank you so much, Abraham.
Right.
Yeah, it did.
My wife isn't home. I can go however long anybody wants to go.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I can keep going.
I just got in, man. So I'm
Yeah,
good for like
Javi just got in. I know. I don't know what Abraham's got going on. I know it's late.
Yeah,
where he's at.
I gotta get up early.
Yeah.
Last day tomorrow.
Oh, last day of school tomorrow.
Last day, dude, with the kids. So
Doesn't that mean you can go in hungover? It doesn't really matter.
If you look behind the vodka, there might be some rum in there.
Drink on your way there.
I always remember.
I got a parent conference tomorrow, so I got to stay.
I remember my last few days at school. I remember my last few days at school. It was the cart came in with the TV and the VCR. Yeah, I'm that old with the VCR. Came rolling in and. Hey, watch a movie, guys.
Yeah, I used to get excited when those big ass TVs used to come and rolling in.
Yep, you're like, yes.
Really quick. Steve Brown.
We're gonna watch TV.
Steve Brown said he had to pop out for 30 minutes. Could you do a quick synopsis, Abraham, of the Blue Lion?
Yeah, absolutely. The Blue Lion, I'm releasing it. It's the same profile as the Red Lion. Okay. But the difference is that it's a limited edition of 40 bottles, and each each bottle, you know, that's sold is 20% of each sale is going to go to an organization that's called the Council on Child Abuse, and they're based out of Ohio, and they work a lot with preventing child abuse. You know, so the bottle is as such. It's a red top, red glass, and then it blends into a blue bottle in the bottom. So it's got both colors in there, and the color blue represents protection, guardianship. You know, and it's also the color for child abuse awareness. You know, so I'm going to be running that in about a week, running some posts and stuff, and then, you know, make another donation. You know, we you know, Barbu likes to be part of giving back, you know, and making a little bit of a difference in any way that we can. You know, so
to steal a line from Jester, my bearded brethrens, my brethrens of the beard, let's make 2 commitments. Let's try and share the heck out of this thing when Abraham starts posting, and it's only 40 bottles. Let's try and sell them out so we can give those kids some money, or that organization that helps them some money.
I'm on it. I am on it.
That's going to be my next. I was wondering where I was going to make my next purchase at, and I had a few companies in mind, and I think Barbu is going to go ahead and get my money, because I got to match it with this for one. It's going to one hell of a cause. So
yeah. That's gonna be fun making that review. And that's the type of bottle I'm gonna keep like forever.
Right.
Yeah. Just because it means so much. It has so much behind it.
Yeah.
And this was a full 2 ounces when I started. And I'm almost
That's
out
because
of
you
here.
licked it.
All right. But you guys know why I like to emphasize a full 2 ounces, but
Javier, you sent me a message that your wife is using your beer.
Not 1 ounce.
All right.
2 ounce.
Yeah, bro. She took over some of my stuff, man. Yeah.
I hear it a lot. I've seen random posts where people say that the women are getting into the beard product and the men have to hide it and stuff. Dan, didn't you say something like that? You had to hide one of your scents because your wife.
Yeah, it was a Ruddy Man Bomb House blend. I had to order her own because she loves that apple whatever scent. And I did that video where I hid it in the cupboard there in my kitchen. Well, apparently one of my daughters was ratted me out. I didn't know she even followed my beard channel, and she sent the video to my wife. And so when I got home, I went looking for it and it was gone. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? How'd she find it? So I didn't know where it was, and so I ordered another one. And then she's like, oh yeah, your daughter sent me the video because I was like,
put it in your underwear drawer.
Well, that's where I hide the Viagra, so she likes to take that out.
I'm glad you went with Viagra there, Dan. It could have gone so many ways.
Another way.
Popping those things like Skittles.
What's vibrating over there, man?
It's actually my wife calling me. I think her ears are ringing.
She's watching this live.
She's actually, she wants to know, she's probably asking me what I want for dinner because she's done with her nail appointment.
Abraham, any idea if there will be any new scent/product releases from Barbu before the year is up?
You know what's funny, Joe, is every time you ask me a question, I know exactly where you're going to ask me. I already got an answer for you. Yeah, absolutely. There's something that I'm going to release. I'm going to be doing a trailer for. This is going to be on the line, and then there's going to be some limited editions coming out as well.
Awesome.
This particular scent is going to be, I like to think, very, very different. You know, from everything else I've done, and the trailer is going to be pretty intense. You know, it's going to be neat. Jester, I think, will appreciate this particular one just because of the cinema, you know, the cinematography behind it. You know, so
can't wait.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Right.
So I'm always cranking stuff out, you know, and probably another couple things throughout this year. And you know, it's not only oil too. I come up with all these cool little things as well. I like thinking out of the box, you know, and you know, creating products for the company. And
show everybody that Barbu tattoo, man. Come on now, show it off.
You want to see it, huh?
That Barbu. Not the tramp stamp one, not the tramp stamp, the other one.
You can ask for more.
Say something.
Here,
Oh,
there we
nice.
go. Oh, nice.
Oh.
That's cool. Here, say something again so that way it pops up on the screen.
Yes.
Say something.
Barbu.
Nice.
That's it, bro. Branded for
Nice.
life. And you know, when you're serious about something, and if you want to be committed to it, then brand yourself.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's something you made. That's something you're proud of. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to find a good artist to do it on YouTube, man, because they fuck it up. Sucks,
Yeah,
you know?
so yeah.
You put like Bimbo instead of Barbu.
Right. What do you do there?
So is that your tramp stamp there, Jester? Bimbo?
That's right.
It's tribal. You got tribal.
All right. Who gets a tribal? Who does that?
Sexy.
Oh, you guys are tribaled out, man.
Tribal down, man.
Well, yeah, 20 years ago when I was 19 years old, it was something cool to do. Now, 20 years later, it's like, that guy's a douchebag. He's got
Now you
tribal
just wear
tattoo.
ankle bracelets. Now you wear anklets.
Well, I don't have just one. I got two of the motherfuckers.
Jeez.
Still rocking the Tamagotchi? Come on now.
Well, fellas, I got to take off.
Sounds good.
Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Abraham. It's been awesome. And
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Blue Lion coming out. Blue Lion.
Blue Lion coming out.
Give you blue balls, guaranteed.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
On the label.
I'm joking.
And if you haven't tried Barbu, you need to. You got reviewers across the board telling you, and you can go to multiple channels to check it out.
I have.
Oh, and by the way, real quickly, he's not here, but I know that Abraham did something with Bearded Story, and still one of my favorite intros to a review video.
Yep, storyteller.
Yeah,
Storyteller. That was
awesome.
So there's lots of reviews out there on Abraham's stuff.
I actually have two that dropped today: Red Lion and Blacksmith. So the Blacksmith is going to drop in like 2 minutes after the live stream here.
Nice. Hey, guys, it was a pleasure speaking with you and hanging out with you and drinking with you, except for Jester. He wasn't drinking.
Cheers.
But, yeah, let's do it again, man. You guys are awesome, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out,
dude.
man. Appreciate
It
it
was
so
a
much.
blast. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up Roundtable. Thanks for all of you who came in here. Thanks for those people that are going to view us later on down the road. And we should be back in another week. Anything else, guys?
I love you.
Good.
You're watching the Bearded Roundtable.
Abraham.
Later.
I've been
All right,
for you.